So Eli's question is, if my dad had a chance to go back in raising us, what would be one thing you'd change or do differently? Hey guys, welcome back to the Chop Shop. I'm so excited. On today's episode, I got my dad coming in. He's going to share some of his life. And, I think that this was probably one of the things I was so excited about from the very beginning when starting a podcast was the opportunity to have my dad come on. Reason being is because I don't think I've really sat down and asked my dad some of these questions that you're about to hear, and just to kind of hear about his life growing up, how much he loves me more than the others, things like that are important that you should know. But listen, it's going to be a great episode. So I'm so glad you guys are here because this is seriously going to be one of the best ones. So here it is. Check it out. Well, Dad, you're here on the podcast, The Chop Shop. And first of all, thank you for doing this. I know this is very much out of your comfort zone. You're not a huge talker as you're sitting there and you don't say anything. So my dad's not a huge talker. So, but I wanted to bring you on because I think, I was talking to Eli and I was like, I feel like I don't think I've ever really sat down to like ask you about the way you grew up, like your relationship with your parents, your family. I know some things, like I know like parts and snippets, but I don't know like, the backstory. Like, so you were born where?
Hay un pueblito en Michoacán que se llama Isaac Arriaga.
Okay.
Cuando yo me vine, que hace casi 45 años, era un ranchito. Iba gente de otros pueblos a preguntar por Soledad Contreras, que era mi padre, y cualquier persona le daba razón donde vivía. Y de ahí vengo.
Okay. And obviously I know this, but so that other people know this, how many siblings, how big was your family growing up?
No hace mucho, mi hermano Dolores, que es como 6 años más chico que yo. Él es bueno en números. Estábamos hablando de la familia entre papá, hermanos y nietos. Estaba hablando más de 100 personas.
Jeez. That's everybody all together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have 12 siblings, 11 siblings?
Yeah, 12.
All right. And then you are like in the middle, or you?
Yes, I'm the number 6.
You're number 6, so
yes.
12.
Yeah, number 6 at 12.
Okay, so then what was that like growing? Like, were you all of you guys living in the same house, or did like the older ones start moving out when the younger ones were? Like, how was that?
So, sí, mi papá y mis 2 hermanos mayores se pusieron a hacer adobe. Las casas de ese entonces eran casas de adobe.
Okay.
Se pusieron a mezclar es como lodo con rastrojo, maíz, aquellos que conocen de eso. Lo batieron y luego hicieron adobe. E hicieron 2 cuartos. En uno se quedaban las mujeres, que son 6, y en otro los hombres 7.
Wow.
So, imagínalo tan chiquita que estaba la casa.
Jeez. And then your parents in the same house?
Yes.
They had their own room?
No,
they stayed with the boys, or they stayed wherever?
Yeah.
So, okay, so did you guys sleep on the floor?
Sí. Okay, para aquellos que conocen el petates.
What's petates?
Es una como esta, pero hecha de tejido, no sé cómo se llama.
So it's like
carrizo, like carrizo. What do you call it?
I don't know what carrizo is, but it's like a mat or a carpet.
Like a mat.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
So, in one of those mats, again, los hombres nos acostamos, uno con los pies para allá y otros con los pies para acá.
Wow.
Y las mujeres también.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was like that until you left. That's the way you guys slept and stayed together.
Yes. La casa no tenía ventanas, así es que podían entrar cualquier animal durante la noche.
Did they? Was there animals coming in at night?
Yeah, not really.
Okay, but you guys probably had birds fly through or
Oh,
something.
yes. What do you call it? Different kind of animals,
Yeah.
the rats or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
La casa era hecha de teja.
Yeah.
Subían arriba y había
Yeah.
hoyos y caían arriba de uno.
So I remember I think it was maybe the second time that we went. We were like little, and we stayed. Is it the same house, right?
Sí.
The same house that
Sí.
they're still in.
Sí.
I remember one night and maybe it wasn't that house, maybe it was another house. But anyway, we stayed the night, and we were a little bit older. And I remember that first night, because they had the nets right over the beds, so that nothing. But I remember the first night, I saw. I'm pretty sure it was a scorpion on the wall.
Yeah.
And for me, I was like, hold up, wait a second, this is totally different. There's a scorpion on the wall, and now I can't go to sleep because I think he can like come and get me. But so like these are some of the details that I didn't know. Obviously, I knew you had a big family growing up. I knew that you guys lived in one house together that has 2 bedrooms. But I didn't know, like, so did they all sleep in here, or what was the deal? So, so what was your relationship with your dad? Like, your mom and your dad had 12 kids.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say, like, what was that like for that? Like, did they spend a lot of time with everybody? Did it seem like, they leaned on the older ones to help with the younger ones? Like, how did that?
No, ellos eran muy parejos con todos.
Yeah.
Cada quien se iba a su trabajo, él se iba a sus milpas a trabajar,
Yeah.
ella se quedaba a hacer tortillas, comida para todos.
Right.
So, bien enfocados en tener la familia, lo que necesitaba, lo que podían darnos.
Right. And I'm sure you guys like would always get together to have dinner together, and so you guys were always together
Sí.
for the most part.
Sí.
So, you went to school when you were a kid, right?
Sí, bueno, sí. Yo tenía casi como unos 11, 12 años cuando fui a la escuela.
Mm-hmm.
Y había unos niños chiquitos como James. Y yo ya un hombre casi con bigotes. En otras palabras, me dio vergüenza y me salí de la escuela.
Mm.
Y fue cuando empecé a cuidar vacas y chivas.
Mm-hmm.
Y por eso es que no hablo mucho, porque con quien hablaba era con las vacas o con las chivas. Así es que no era muy sociable con la gente.
Yeah. So you left school because you were embarrassed.
Sí.
That's why. It wasn't because it's not because mom and dad didn't want you to, or, because you had to, but just more out of didn't feel comfortable, felt awkward, yes, and rather go do something else.
Yeah, y me necesitaba mi papá para cuidar las chivas o las vacas, ayudarles, porque si yo soy el número 6, es que mi obligación era ayudarlos ya para mantener los demás.
Yeah, and you were how old at that point when you left? You said 11 or 12?
When I left
you left
school,
school, yeah. About 11 or 12 years old. And then so from there you went to go work the fields with your dad and help out with...
Help out.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And so you did that. Is that the only job you had over there? Or did you do any kind of different work?
No, I helped them. Para aquellos que saben, cuando vas a sembrar la milpa, en ese entonces usaban bueyes o caballos para abrir la tierra. Luego yo era el sembrador, el que iba sembrando la semilla.
Yeah. So growing up, your family was Catholic.
Sí.
Were your parents like hardcore Catholic, or were they more casual?
No, casual.
Okay,
Yeah.
so did you guys go to church every week?
No,
You didn't?
Yo nunca fui a la iglesia católica. Una vez fui, pero fue para criticarlos o buscar novia, pero no.
Mom, don't listen to this part. Yeah.
Pero realmente.
Was that the same for all your siblings, or were there some siblings that were, faithful to going to church?
Bueno, más tarde fueron mis dos hermanas, que ahora
Right.
son de las más chicas.
Right.
Son las únicas que han estado bien concentradas en la iglesia.
But your parents were never like, hey, we're going to church today.
No.
Okay.
No, they have, tienen sus ¿cómo le llaman? Que santuarios, tienen su casa,
Right.
sus
Their candles and
virgens,
things that they do
todo eso.
there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And is that kind of like how it was over there? Like we're here in America, like people that go to church, whatever kind of church, they go to a place. Like in Mexico, was it more like it's something you do at home because you have something at home to?
Yeah.
Is that what it was like? Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't. It's not. It wasn't. What was my phone? It wasn't rare for a Catholic family to not go to church. They just stay home and do it at home.
Yeah, most of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started working when you were 12 with your dad on the field. You left school. At what point did you start thinking about leaving and coming here to the United States?
So, lo que pasó es que por ahí tenía yo como 14 o unos 13 o 14 años, me gustaba mucho la música. Y me recuerdo que cuando en la escuela la maestra que me estaba enseñando, me decía que me cambiaba de grado si le cantaba yo a ella.
Mm-hmm.
Entonces yo dije, no, eso no debería ser así, porque pues tienes que estudiar para pasar de grado.
Right.
Entonces hicimos un grupo de música, mi hermano el mayor y otros muchachos allí.
Tío Jose was in the group?
No, Lorenzo.
Oh, okay, Lorenzo.
Es el mayor que yo.
Okay.
Y como teníamos tocadas por ahí, pero los instrumentos no eran de lo mejor, muy
Yeah.
malos.
Yeah.
Entonces nuestro deseo era, de mi hermano y el mío, era de venir a este país a ganar dinero y traer a los demás músicos, llevarlos para juntar un dinero y regresarnos y comprar instrumentos buenos.
So your original idea was to come here and then go back.
Sí.
You never were thinking about coming here and trying to do
No.
something here.
No.
Okay.
Y gracias a Dios que se nos concedió entrar a este país. Pero al entrar aquí, me recuerdo que cuando llegamos, mis hermanos José Luis y Agapito nos estaban esperando y encontraron un lugar donde vivir. Entonces, me recuerdo que me dijeron, atendemos a una iglesia, te invitamos. Y yo nunca había oído del Evangelio.
Yeah.
Y dije, sí voy. Entonces, cuando fui, Papa era el que estaba predicando. Entonces, cuando oí esas palabras de que Cristo me amaba, que Cristo quería salvarme, mi alma se sentía regocijada porque nunca había ido ahí. Y aún me recuerdo que aún hasta después ya me empecé a dejar los nervios y empecé hasta cantar cantos especiales. No era cristiano todavía.
Mm-hmm.
Y me envolví allí, había unos hermanos que los ayudaba en lo que poquito que sabía tocar la guitarra, no como ustedes, pero más o menos me defendía.
He's looking at Eli, by the way.
Y pues ya resulta que pasó un año y cuando abrí mi corazón a Cristo y Él vino en mi corazón, desde ahí vine a ser otra persona.
Yeah. So Tío Jose and Tío Agapito were already here when you got here.
Mm-hmm.
And how long were they here before you got here?
Yo creo que tenían algunos 4 o 5 años
Oh,
ya
wow.
aquí.
So they've been here for a while.
Yeah.
And so how old were you when you got here?
21.
21.
I was 21.
And what did mom and dad think when you told them, I'm going to the States, or I want to go to the States?
Yeah, muy, muy tristes.
Yeah, they didn't want you to go.
Y mi papá, me recuerdo porque yo era el único que todos ya habían decidido que se iban a venir. Ya estábamos aquí, de los hombres.
Mhm.
Y los otros nos venimos todos juntos, los demás hermanos que quedaban allá. Es que mi papá me pidió que me quedara a ayudarle
Yeah,
con las parcelas y todo eso.
right, right.
Y le dije pues que me iba a venir. Entonces se quedaron muy tristes. Mi mamá seguro, por supuesto,
Yeah,
quedó llorando.
right, right.
Sí.
So you get here, your brothers pull you into church, you hear the message, it changes your life. So when you got here, did you start helping Theos out in the orchards, or what kind of work were you doing when you got here?
Que el primer trabajo que yo empecé fue en una nursería.
What's that?
Nursery.
You can say it loud, Eli, it's okay.
Donde trabajas
Okay.
con plantas y todo
Okay.
eso. Trabajé por casi unos 3 años allí, en la nursería. Después de allí fui a pescar manzana también, como 2 años.
Yeah.
Y luego de allí empecé a la construcción. En ese entonces no sabía yo ni papa de inglés. Así es que imagínate, y empecé a trabajar con un americano.
Yeah.
Cuando me empezaba a decir, necesito esto, necesito aquello, él tenía que ir a enseñarme qué
What it
era.
was. Yeah.
Y pues de ahí empecé a agarrar el inglés, digo yo, nopalero. Agarré inglés de aquí, inglés de allá. Y por eso es que estoy hablando mejor español que
Yeah.
inglés ahorita.
But you can speak English though.
Más o menos.
No, you can speak English. You're just not comfortable, and I get it. But I mean, I think it's pretty incredible that you didn't like come here, go to school. You know, you didn't take a class or have a teacher to sit. Like you learned all this like as you're trying to figure out life in this new country.
Yes.
So that's pretty impressive. I mean, on a third grade I mean, you left school when you're 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So could you speak Spanish? Sure. Proper Spanish? Who knows? Right? Because you didn't even complete the schooling.
Yeah.
But you were able to obviously come here, figure it out, and figure English out, and then work too. So
Realmente, cuando trabajé en la nursería, había una ancianita que iba y compraba plantas a la nursería. Y nosotros, yo y José Luis o Agapito, le ayudábamos a cargar sus plantas en su carro.
yeah.
So ella se encariñó mucho con nosotros y nos dijo, muchachos, yo quisiera enseñarles inglés. Dice, ¿por qué no van a mi casa y yo les enseño inglés? Y ella tenía hasta libros que están en la escuela. Pero ella quería que habláramos, escribiéramos, o sea, todo lo como debe de ser. Entonces fuimos por 1 año a la escuela, pero al llegar a la casa, cualquiera de nosotros empezaba a hablar inglés y los demás nos burlábamos de él. Así es que no aprendimos nada de lo que ella nos enseñó.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you guys probably didn't take it as seriously as you should have, and so it's kind of hard to learn at that point. But
Yeah.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. You know, you meet mom, right? Who is the pastor's daughter, and you meet mom. Obviously, you're into her; she's into you, right? There's this dating thing that happens. I don't want to get into detail here, but you know, if you guys get married, you guys have 4 beautiful kids. Okay, what I kind of want to get into too is kind of like, you know, because so I've been doing this podcast since like January, and so I've mentioned you a couple of times on the podcast. I had Eli on; he's mentioned you. So one of the things that I've talked about you is just I knew that every day you'd come home from work, you'd say hi, you put your stuff down, and then you would go directly to your room to go pray. Like we knew that was a fact. That was going to happen unless there was some kind of emergency. When you got home, You weren't going to eat first. You weren't going to sit down, watch TV. You weren't going to do anything. You were going to go home. You're going to get in your room and you're going to pray. At what point in your life did that become a habit or something that became a priority to you? Because it just seems like, obviously for us, like your kids, is just something that you've always done your whole entire life. But obviously that's not true.
No.
So like, I guess my question is, what does that time, that prayer time, mean to you, that you would do it day after day like that?
Bueno, realmente no es día tras día, pero casi todo el tiempo.
Yeah.
Para mí, el estar conectado con Dios es muy importante.
Yeah.
Porque de Él depende todo lo que hagamos. Y pues esa es mi oración, ¿verdad? Que siempre cuando voy dice la Biblia que vayamos a nuestro lugar secreto, a solas, a hablar con Dios. Y por supuesto que todo el tiempo menciono a mis hijos, a toda la familia, que Dios...
Yeah.
Para un padre, ahora ustedes que son padres, de seguro que también es lo mismo.
Yeah.
Quieren lo mejor para sus hijos.
Right.
Y quieren que un día sus hijos les sirvan a Dios, porque realmente sin Dios no somos nada.
Yeah.
Y es muy importante.
Yeah. Well, like, again, I was talking to Eli about it and just how it showed that you weren't just somebody who went to church to like kind of check off a box or just show your, like you love the Lord. And it showed for us at home, because it's like, we know that dad is real about it, because when he gets home, he goes and he prays, or we'll go to his room to go, ask him about something, and he has his Bible open and he's so we know it's not fake, it's real.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, like, I just, that the memory of like my dad would get home, put his stuff down, and he'd run up to his room and he'd go pray. Like, it's something that I won't forget.
Yes.
And as much as I'm like, I would love to be able to, and I can't, I'm not saying I can't, but it's just a good reminder. Like, that's something I got to do. That's something I have to, because the kids are watching, so,
Yes.
But dude, I told myself I'm like, I'm not going to cry, because my dad's going to be like, bro, come on. But
Men don't cry.
yeah, men don't cry. Yeah. But, I think that's like something that I'm like, this is something I'm going to always be able to say about my dad, is that he was a man of prayer, like you really see the value in it, how important it is. And so that's why it's something that you did day in and, well, you did it day in, or, 365 days a year. Well, to me, it looks different every day, but, like we would know that when you get home from work, like that's something you did. So like, what was it exactly that like kind of drew you to the Lord? Because if your family, like, you guys grew up Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
but you obviously didn't have any interest in it. Your parents didn't really push you to it. What was it about being here and hearing that word, like you said, for the first time, that really like, what spoke to you? What was it about the gospel that really, like, it opened your eyes to something that you hadn't seen before? Does that make sense?
Bueno, realmente cuando Dios toca tu corazón y le permites que lo toque, Él es el que hace
Yeah.
Porque yo me recuerdo cuando, después que el Señor vino a mi corazón, sí, el temor, yo antes de aceptarlo, sentía yo, y seguro que es el diablo, si lo aceptas, tus padres te van a rechazar, tus amigos, tus músicos que quieres juntar,
Yeah.
ya no van a juntarse contigo. Entonces ese era el temor, yo que no quería nada, pero el Espíritu de Dios siguió trabajando en mi vida, y cuando Él hizo la obra, la hizo completa.
Yeah.
Entonces me recuerdo que cuando fui para atrás, para México, ya salvo, que fue como el 82, cuando Agapito se casó, duramos como un mes allá. Entonces en ese tiempo íbamos a ayudarle a mi papá a trabajar en las milpas, le llamamos aquí en milpas. Y mi mamá nos llevaba, ella tenía la costumbre de ir a llevarnos el almuerzo.
Mm-hmm.
Y me recuerdo que ella en una de sus pláticas, que una de sus amigas o familiar, no sé quién era, que le comentó a ella que si yo fuera su hijo de ella, la amiga o pariente, que ella preferiría mejor que estuviera muerto que aceptar el evangelio.
Wow.
Entonces ella, mi madre, me recuerdo que ella dijo, no, a mí no me interesa qué religión o qué enseñanzas te hayan enseñado.
Yeah.
Tú eres mi hijo y
Yeah.
yo te voy a amar igual.
So they were pretty supportive of you.
Y sí, más o menos.
Your dad?
Más o menos, sí, también.
Okay.
Medio, pero
Yeah.
cuando nos vieron que éramos, como tú dices, que no éramos de esos que para escondernos de acá y allá, vieron que era
Yeah.
real. Entonces nos respetaron, que fuimos varias veces para México y seguíamos en lo mismo.
Mm-hmm.
Igual todo, es que nos respetaron.
Right. Right. So, okay. So, I mean, you here you are, you accept the Lord. Again, when you meet mom, married, have kids. What, like, when you started having us, like, what was that like to be a dad, like, for you? Like, what was, like, what were some things that you were like, wow, I didn't realize this is part of being a father?
Algo especial, que
Yeah.
ustedes, por supuesto que ustedes lo saben, ¿verdad? Es
Yeah,
algo
yeah.
tener hijos.
Yeah.
Entonces yo cuando empezamos a tenerlos a ustedes, me sentí que mi lugar primero era acercarme a Dios para pedirle su gracia, su ayuda para saber cómo instruirlos a ustedes
Yeah.
en sus caminos.
Yeah.
Y ese era y para mí pues es lo máximo tener hijos. Ahí estoy muy, muy orgulloso de ustedes.
Yeah.
Tu madre y yo estamos muy orgullosos de todos ustedes que van siguiendo el camino correcto.
Yeah. More me than the other ones, though, right?
No.
Yeah, you could say it. It's okay. You got any questions, Eli? What's it like to have a daughter? I mean, I can answer that question too, but I mean, yeah.
Y eso era lo que a mí me hacía falta, que el Señor me cambiara, porque yo primero quería puros hombres.
Why?
Incluso,
Why?
I don't know. No.
Did you feel like you weren't?
Porque, bueno, voy a decir porque dije yo, mi hija un día se va a casar. Porque en el tiempo pasado, allá en México, cuando un hombre o una mujer, bueno, eran novios, eso se llamaba que se la robaba. Se agarraba a la novia y se la llevaba. Entonces, para los padres era una afrenta, era algo que no era bueno.
Yeah.
Era mejor que fuera el padre a pedir la mano de la muchacha.
Right.
Entonces yo dije, bueno, no realmente así que no quiero hija ni nada.
Yeah.
Simplemente no era mi prioridad.
Yeah.
Pero Dios me cayó la boca y me dio una hija. Y esa hija es algo especial. Los amo a todos igual.
Right.
No hay diferencia.
Yeah.
Hey.
Did anything change in you when you had a daughter?
Sí.
Like what?
Ahora veo las nietas, ¿verdad? 2 nietas.
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah.
Is it true that when you become a grandparent, that you love that grandchild more than your children? Or is it, or when people talk about it like as like a different type of love, right? It's different.
Diferente.
But what's different about it? Or what, like for you in your eyes, like what, yeah, like what's different between the love of us and the love of that you have for our kids?
No podría saber describirlo, pero es diferente el amor de un hijo
Yeah.
a un nieto.
Okay.
Porque yo podría decir una que, por ejemplo, ¿verdad? Nieta o nieto, vamos a suponer, ¿verdad? Los traes a la casa a cuidar, que te los cuidemos un ratito, ¿verdad? Yeah. Entonces, tu nieto o tu nieta lo vas a tener por un poco tiempo y sabes que usted y los padres van a ir a levantarlo. Así es que no es diferente porque teniendo hijos estás todo el tiempo con ellos. Yeah. Entonces, sus nietos, si son algunos traviesos o algo,
you're like, it's all right, not a big deal, not my responsibility, not my job.
Es diferente, pero el amor es igual.
Yeah. So, let's see. What was it like parenting us, like when we were in our teenage years? Because I know that I mean, I'll raise my hand. I'll say I'll give you a little bit of hard times sometimes. So, but what was that? What was that like?
Well, there was a challenge.
Was it?
Yes. It was a challenge.
I know it was.
Cuando ustedes empezaron a salir, que andaban por ahí de volados.
Yeah.
Yo le pedí mucho a Dios su ayuda, su gracia, para saber cómo, aunque no, yo no tuve esa, ¿cómo puedo decir? Esa comunión que tienen ustedes con sus hijos. Yo soy medio desabrido, diciendo por allí. No hablo mucho, no me siento con ustedes. Yo creo que esta es la primera vez que me siento a platicar con ustedes desde que, ¿sabe cuándo?
It's true. Yeah.
So, este es como dice, un step para, con la ayuda de Dios, a ver si mejoro en eso.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, you know, this is why I wanted to bring you on, because it was like, well, I don't think I've really asked you these questions before. When I was younger, I didn't ask you because I didn't really think about it. And then as I've gotten older, I just, it's like you say, like we see you, and then it's like, oh, well, we'll just talk about where we're at right now, right? And never really talking about back when you were younger or I was younger, because we're always just kind of thinking about right now and what's tomorrow and what's coming, right? So, we know, like, and I think I speak for you too. Like, we know that you're not, you weren't the type of dad that would come and give us the talk, right? Like, you wouldn't come give us a talk. You wouldn't come to, you wouldn't come give stock. But there wasn't a doubt in our mind that, you wanted the best for us. You'd pray for us. We knew that, and that if we ever asked you for anything, that you would be there to help for sure. Mm-hmm. What was your relationship with your dad like? Was it like that, where was he like a big talker, or?
No, mi papá era como yo creo.
Okay.
Yeah, por eso es que crecí uno con esa.
Yeah.
Sabemos que nos amaba, y que hacía todo por darnos lo que podía. Pues imagínate, éramos 13 chiquillos.
It's crazy.
Había algunos que, por ejemplo, para estrenar ropa, uno nos compraba una camisa, otros un pantalón. Es que no podemos comprar como ahora. Vamos a ir a comprar hasta 2 o 3 cambios de ropa de un puro galón.
Yeah.
No había dinero para todos.
Wow. Yeah. So, Grandpa was busy.
Yes.
Trying to provide is what he
Provide.
Right. So, and you were too. You know, you provided for us as well. So, but man, I'm trying to think of questions. If yeah, go ahead.
We can edit this part out.
No. We're gonna leave this whole in. Let's do it.
Put it all in? Okay.
Yeah.
So the first question.
I kind of wish you had a microphone. People could hear you.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's all right.
You can just repeat it.
Yeah, I'll repeat what Eli says right now.
The first question would be, if you could go back in raising us, what's one thing that you would change or try to be a little different on?
So Eli's question is, if my dad had a chance to go back in raising us, what would be one thing you'd change or do differently?
Podrías decir estar más, hablamos con ustedes, estar más, estar más, ¿cómo se dice la palabra? Más unidos, no que no estamos unidos,
Right.
pero más envuelto,
More involved.
sí.
Okay.
The next question, this might be a hard one, but talk about losing your parents and what does life look like now without them here?
So Eli's asking about my dad losing his parents and what it's like on this side of losing his parents.
Los extraño. Me recuerdo que mi papá, él tenía cáncer y me recuerdo que fuimos a llevarlo al doctor, le hacía chequeos una vez al mes o algo así. Y me recuerdo que iba José Luis y su esposa y Armando, el más chiquillo, es el que iba manejando. Y nos dijo mi papá que él ya estaba cansado de andar para ir para abajo, que ya quería,
Yeah.
en otras palabras, ya estaba cansado, ya no quería seguir. Y me recuerdo que él con lágrimas en sus ojos nos dijo, siento mucho que no tengo que dejarles,
Yeah.
like heritage.
Right. Something. Yeah.
Y me recuerdo que yo le dije, papá, con lo que usted nos enseñó o nos dijo como ser hombres de respeto, respetar a los demás, esa herencia vale más que cualquier otra cosa.
Mhm.
Y seguro cuando él partió, murió parte de nosotros porque él era un hombre muy, no puedo decir rudo, nomás quería
Yeah.
que salieran las cosas como él quería.
Right.
Pero
But I mean, growing up in Mexico at the period that you guys grew up in, that was a normal thing for fathers to be firm
sí,
and raising their kids
Sí.
firmly. And it wasn't a rare thing for a 12-year-old to be working out in the field back then,
yeah.
right?
No.
I'm sure you knew other kids your age.
En actually yo tenía como 6 años cuando Agapito tenía chivas y me iba con él.
Yeah.
So I was actually younger, started working,
Wow. Okay.
but in different
Right.
ways.
But you started earlier than 12.
Yes.
What was your
Your mom, what was it like losing your mom?
Oh,
grandma? Yeah.
it was harder porque, bueno, dicen que yo me parecía a mi mamá, de la misma
Yeah, you do.
carita, los mismos ojitos y todo
Yeah.
eso. Yo me recuerdo como ella era una mujer que nos daba de comer a los 13, una cazuela, ¿verdad? Se acababa la comida y ella dejaba casi nomás lo que era como el jugo de lo que era la comida.
Yeah.
Eso era lo que ella comía.
Wow.
Y una mujer muy sufrida, no solamente nos atendía a nosotros o nos daba de comer, sino que ella atendía a otros, hacía tortillas para vender,
Yeah.
lavaba ropa para otra gente para juntar dinero.
Right.
Porque mi papá vino a Estados Unidos más de 50 veces como bracero.
What's a
Que,
bracero?
estaban contratados para venir a pescar las huertas
Okay.
por un mes o lo que durara la
Yeah.
pesca. Y
Okay.
lo hacían para atrás.
Wow.
Entonces, en todo ese tiempo, mi mamá se quedaba sola, aunque estaba
Right.
sola de todas maneras. Ella nos atendía, sabía que andaba detrás de nosotros, que parecíamos chivitos
Yeah.
entre el cerro ahí.
Yeah.
Ah, era una mujer muy, muy especial.
Yeah.
Muy espe-
What was the relationship of your parents like? Did they show very much affection to each other, or
no.
so in your marriage at first, was that something hard for you to do? Was to be more affectionate or romantic or thoughtful, or did that come like just naturally for you because it was just that was in you? I'm curious because very much like us kids, we do pick up what our parents do, you know. So, you giving mom a kiss when you get home is a mom. So like when I get married, I'm like, well, I give my wife a kiss when I get home.
Yeah.
But so that's why I'm like, did you see that at home? And if you didn't, was that like already in you, or is that something that you and mom had to develop?
No,
You know,
yo nunca vi eso en mis padres. Me recuerdo que estaban chiquillos. Oh, mamá va a tener un bebé. Y otra cosa es que de todos los 13, nomás la más chica y uno que se murió fueron los únicos que nacieron en el hospital.
that's right.
De ahí para allá nacieron en casas. Iba una mujer que les ayudaba a tener el bebé.
Like a midwife that would come,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like tradition, like a midwife.
Sí.
So, yeah. Wow.
Yo no vi que yo, a menos que me acuerde, no vi el afecto que ellos sentían.
So then, was it hard for you to like be affectionate with mom and like be romantic and thoughtful when you guys were dating and you guys got married, or no?
Bueno, cuando estábamos dating, sí, afecto, pero ya luego casados, duró un tiempecito de que quería seguir el mismo paso de mis viejos,
Yeah.
que nomás le daba un beso a mi esposa cuando no había nadie, no me escondía a ver que no me viera nadie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm just I was just want to ask that question because, again, we as kids will pick up what our parents put down. So, did you have one more or no?
Yeah. The role of obispo Ortiz as a father figure to you, what did he show you about becoming, not only a son, but a father?
Yeah. So basically, Papa's role in your life as that father figure in your life.
muy especial. Bueno, estamos hablando de cuando llegamos a trabajar, ¿verdad? Nos vamos a un lugar a hablar con Dios. De él lo agarré.
Yeah.
A ver la importancia.
Right.
Es como un padre, ¿verdad? Para guiar a sus hijos. No va a ser con puros chicotes o puras regañadas,
Yeah.
sino va a ser con la ayuda de Dios, que nos ayude y nos dé el temperamento para saber cómo trabajar en ciertas
Yeah.
formas.
Did Papa's like I don't want to say attitude, but did he change at all towards you when you went from being one of his church members to somebody who wants to marry his daughter, or did he was he always the same from the beginning until the end?
He was the same. He was the same.
Yeah.
Me recuerdo que cuando le pedí que quería salir con su hija, lo único que me dijo fue, deja que salga de la escuela.
Right. Yeah, 'cause she was still in high school, right? When you
So
yeah.
he never closed the door and said,
Yeah.
no, I don't
So he
want
didn't
to.
say absolutely not.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he just said wait.
Y me recuerdo que cuando él supo de eso, que yo andaba medio con su hija, había unos hermanos que eran de Guatemala, se me hace. Estaba una jovencita chaparrita y él me la quería echar a mí con ella. pero no sabía que yo
That you were already
que
talking to
quería
mom.
era con su hija.
Yeah.
Sí.
Wow.
Yeah.
We might have to do this again, Dad. I just feel like there's so much. But let me kind of wrap it up with this. What is like something that this one comes from Ruthie. This is a question from Ruthie. And so, I think it's a pretty deep question. How do you want to be remembered? Like, what's the thing that you want people to say about you? Like, what is the thing that you really want people to take away from who Soledad is? Sorry, I said that kind of Soledad. Like, who is he? Like, what is it that you want them to say about you?
Que no sea ¿cómo decir la palabra? Fake, sino que sea el mismo.
Yeah.
Hasta el final.
Yeah.
Y que sea vamos caminando en los caminos de Dios, que como dijo el apóstol Pablo, se me hace que fue el que dijo que cuando empezó la carrera, dijo, he terminado la buena carrera.
Mm-hmm. What is, because we'll have some young guys who are watching this, you know, guys who may not even be dads or be married yet. What is a piece of advice that you could give to a young man who's walking out their faith?
Pues que busquen a Dios, porque no hay otro camino mejor. Y es muy fácil quitar la vista de Dios, especialmente ahorita como está todo.
Yeah.
Muy fácil, si no estás bien agarrados de la mano de Dios, de resbalarte.
Yeah.
Pero si buscas a Dios, Él ahí está para ayudarte y para ayudarte a terminar sea tu vida, ya sea que el Señor venga o que la muerte venga.
Right. That's good, Dad. One last question, serious question.
Oh.
Are you going to root for the Giants next year?
No.
We're going to have to talk about this on another episode. Yeah. Just so you guys know, my dad, diehard Giants fan from what year did you start?
78.
78 to 2020. Yeah. And then he said, no, not doing this no more.
Tengo mis razones.
I know you have your reasons. I know. We don't have to get into them, but I might talk about them later, but it's okay. It's all right. But, I mean, it's because of your love for baseball that I fell in love with baseball and the Giants, and I still root for the Giants. But it's because, you would have games on and it's like, well, let's watch. And then your passion and love for it, I grew into it. Eli did too for a little bit. He says, I don't know.
Yo crecí, me recuerdo que estaba chiquillo, unos 6, 7 años. Nos juntábamos con los demás y agarramos una tabla, una piedra y jugábamos béisbol por horas.
Yeah.
Ese era nuestro hobby.
Yeah.
Que el béisbol para mí es...
Right.
No veo las ligas mayores, pero veo los más...
Yeah. You were never into soccer at all?
Never liked soccer, no.
Always a baseball.
¿Y sabes
guy?
por qué? Porque
Why?
yo los veo que corren para allá, corren para acá, y a veces quedan hasta empatados, o esa corredera para nada.
My dad's competitive. He doesn't like to end the game tied.
Sí.
It's like, no, we need a winner.
You need a winner, sí.
Hey, Dad, thank you for doing this.
Okay.
You don't have to shake my hand. I'm not paying you. You're not getting paid. You know that, right? No, Dad, thank you for coming on, though. Appreciate it. Hey, again, big thanks to my dad, Soledad Contreras. I'm so glad that he made it on this week's podcast. I'm telling you guys, it's probably going to be my favorite one. I tried really hard not to cry, but of course my dad said something to make me cry. And I'm a big crybaby, so it was really easy. Hey, listen, question I want you to think about is how do you want to be remembered? I think asking my dad that question really opened up my eyes to some of the things that really matter to him. And I think it's a great question to ask yourself is, how do I want to be remembered? It kind of makes us look at our life, make us look at the decisions we made, the ones we're going to make. Maybe it'll make you even change your mind on a couple of things. So that's the question I want you to think about is, how do you want to be remembered? Let me know in the comments. I love to read them, and I will hit you back because I love conversating with you guys. And if you're not, subscribe to this channel, and that's how you're going to get new content. You're going to get all the latest updates on the new videos. Make sure you follow me on Instagram to catch up on the reels that I put up at Benny's Chop Shop Pod. As always, I appreciate you guys' support, and I can't wait to see you next time. Peace out.